I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about I brought the mood down and she lost attraction. Ooh. So this is an interesting one because you're going to see that we have a situation here where somebody does some things, and we'll get into the details as we go, that cause somebody to lose interest, right, with their behavior. But it's interesting because you're going to see what he did. Is it really a reason to lose attraction? And if this does cause somebody to lose attraction, is it somebody that you really want? Is it somebody that you can count on? Because you're going to see a guy here that was struggling with his mental health a bit and some issues going on in his life, but instead of having a partner that's stuck by his side, she loses attraction. So I thought this was an interesting email coaching, so I wanted to share it with you guys. This is from a guy in his late 20s, and he was dating a woman in her mid-20s for about 8 months. Okay? So he said, we met at university, and everyone could see our connection and chemistry when we were together. Over the course of the first year, we became inseparable, and I started to develop feelings towards her. So they were friends. Mm-hmm. You got a smirk on your face.
Yeah, I was just saying it's cute, you know?
Yeah. Over 3 years, we became extremely close friends. But in our last year, we went out drinking, in which she confessed that she had feelings for me, but didn't know what to do as she was with someone else. Oh. Okay, so it sounds like she had a boyfriend or a guy that she was seeing at the time, and I was a little confused when I read it because I'm thinking, wait a minute, you guys have been good friends for like 3 years here. Don't you know who this guy is?
Yeah, that's a good point. And if other people are noticing their connection too, wouldn't they say something if she had a partner or, no, just kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And not only that, if they had such a strong connection over those 3 years or whatever, why didn't she give him a chance? Why didn't she try and make it work with him and see they have such a good friendship? So that's a little bit odd too, right? Let's go on here. When we got back to our halls of residence, she kissed me. Oh. Okay, remember she had a boyfriend though.
Oh. Well, we don't know if it was a boyfriend.
Well, that's true. But she said she was with someone else. So
okay, that's
however you want to describe it.
That's fair.
Fast forward a few months after university had shut down due to COVID, we were both living at our parents' house, which is about 4 hours away from each other. She called me and wanted us to give it a try. Sadly, though, life wasn't working so well for me as I had just recently lost my job due to COVID. My mom had been rushed to the hospital for a serious heart operation, and my dad had been told that he had cancer.
A lot of things happening all at once.
That is exactly what I was trying to say at the beginning here, because this guy is, in a horrible place.
And a lot of uncertainty.
Exactly. Those are your parents.
Yeah, operation and illness.
And losing the job. I mean, and the thing that's different about this situation, this isn't some guy she just met on Tinder 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. This is somebody that she was supposedly really good friends with for 3 years.
Yeah.
Here's why I'm concerned about it or didn't like it. She said she didn't want us to be friends anymore as I was stressed all the time.
Whoa.
And we went our separate ways.
Whoa.
Whoa is right. What kind of friend abandons their friend when they're going through something like this? That is not a friend. Mm-hmm. Okay? You have a mom that had a heart operation. Dad has cancer. You're struggling, you lost your job because of COVID, and how many people did. Mm-hmm. And she says, I don't want to be with you anymore because you're stressed all the time?
It seems like a very drastic decision. I'm thinking in her position, maybe she is feeling overwhelmed by, his anticipatory grief, whatever he's going through. But you have options there, encouraging him to go talk to his support system, support groups, go see a therapist. To end it completely, it seems a bit extreme.
I agree. And it sounds like, she was ending the friendship, everything. I mean, does that sound like somebody you can really count on? Let's go on.
And it also seemed like she was the one making some of the moves here. She was kissing him in the hallway and things like that. So, I can imagine that you're having this good connection with someone, and then all of these things happen in your life. That's your person that you go to for support.
That's what I mean. That's why I didn't like it, is because they were such close friends for 3 years. It's one thing if you just met somebody on a dating app, but when you have a close friendship, you shouldn't be walking away from somebody like this. But let's see what happens. After 3 years, she reached out to me, and we met up a few times and started dating. It seemed great as I was in the middle of buying my first house. However, I started to struggle with work and my mental health, and it was the first time I lived on my own. As it was long distance, we would see each other on the weekends, but she started saying that she didn't want to see me every weekend, and it would set off my anxious attachment style and make me clingy at times. That seems normal, right? You think your person is back after years of close friendship and they're going to try and make it work, and now she's starting to pull away already. Over the course of the relationship, she grew more avoidant and say she didn't need to speak to me every day and that she was okay, and days later tell me that she wasn't okay and that I had done something wrong.
A lot of back and forth here.
I mean, you can imagine being him. He's like, wait, what? You don't want to speak to me every day? You're okay, but then you're mad at me for what? I don't know. It's going to get worse. She'd say I do things such as bringing her mood down, and she don't feel like she needs to tell me certain things. So again, just because his life isn't peachy cream or whatever, she's willing to walk away again.
I can kind of understand where she's coming from too. If she has her own things in her life that she's overwhelmed by, maybe she's going through a tough time. It's hard when you're trying to have a partnership and the timing is off. I think she's really struggling with communicating what she means here. And the word she's using is really not words that I would use. I'll put it like that. I think there's a better way to say what she's saying. And I would encourage her to really ask for what she needs here. There's a need under all of these comments, bringing down her mood. She doesn't feel the need to tell me certain things. Maybe she's wanting it to be at a little bit of a slower pace. Maybe, as far as bringing down her mood, she wants to feel more connected and wants to think more positively with him. So instead of thinking of like, oh, you're such a downer, what is it that you're missing? What is it that you're lacking here?
But it feels like this is the second time she's kind of leaving him for the same thing.
Similar thing.
It feels very similar.
If I were her, I'm from her perspective, I would also be thinking, 2 times that I've tried to make a relationship work with him, there's something going on in his life.
I think we've got a real avoidant here. That's what I think.
I don't doubt that she's avoidant. And I think from her perspective, she needs to do a better job at communicating when she's overwhelmed and what she needs and what she wants.
Yeah, let's see what else goes on here. After asking for communication in the way of telling me what was wrong and what was upsetting her, she dumped me over text. She said that she didn't know what she wanted anymore, that I needed to work on myself as I couldn't regulate my emotions, and I was affecting her mental health. Yeah, she's kind of, these reasons are kind of all over the place here. They don't feel like they fit together. You know what I mean? Like, why does she not know what she's wanting? Because he's struggling with his mental health? He can't regulate his emotions. He's getting anxious because she's pulling away and getting avoidant on him, and then not wanting to see her often, and then saying, well, I don't need to tell you everything. So I could see why he's getting triggered.
Yeah. It also depends as far as how invested in the relationship they are at this point. How long has it been? Are they boyfriend and girlfriend? What exactly the situation is.
Well, he did say she broke up with me over text, so it's assuming they're together.
I wonder how long they've been together this second time, because it sounds like there was a 3-year gap.
Yeah, there was a 3-year gap, but I don't know how long they've been back together the second time. I don't think he said.
I think that would make a difference. Because
True.
Part of this might also be her realization of what it takes to be in an actual relationship. You have to be willing to see your partner be upset sometimes. You have to be willing to see your partner have a bad day.
And go through hard times in life. He had parents with serious issues going on. You have to be understanding of that.
Yeah. And, it's she got into this relationship already knowing that he had those past experiences, So it also seems to me like in the past, in their friendship, we don't know how much they were there for each other emotionally. So it could be that even in her friendships, she's not there for people like that. That she has a cap. She's very sensitive to any type of emotional anything, which, this is a situation where if I were him and I've had these types of experiences in my life, I would want somebody to understand me a little bit better. I'd be wanting a partner who's willing to dive into those depths of emotion with me a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what happened here. To save myself pain, I unfollowed her immediately on social media and went no contact after a little bit of pleading for us to work it out. Before setting out on a journey to rediscover myself by going to the gym, starting therapy, and trying new hobbies. After a few months of no contact, she reached out, and I made sure I put my phone down for an hour to regulate myself and proceeded with a light, positive, uplifting conversation. I admit I jumped the gun on one message by asking her to meet up with me, in which she stated she is broke and has no money, to which I replied, okay, let me know if you change your mind.
I didn't know he charged to spend time with him.
I know. I mean, that's an excuse.
Yeah, no.
It's not about the money, because she would, first of all, if her interest level was high enough, she wouldn't care about the money.
Yeah.
Second of all, she could easily say, let's go for a walk. Let's go, do something that doesn't cost a lot of money.
Let's go touch grass together.
Yeah, go to the park, something.
Right.
There's just an excuse.
Yeah.
After leaving it a week, I reached back out. See, this is where he made a mistake. Because you told her, let me know if you change your mind. So that means you have to let them know if they change their mind. Right? Doesn't mean anything if you say, let me know if you change your mind, and then you say, hey, did you change your mind yet?
Right. Checking up on them, right?
Right? It's like, it doesn't work like that. I reached back out, in which I got a very dry and short response and let the conversation dry naturally. No surprise there.
Yeah.
My question, what do I do next? And do you think she will want to give our relationship another go? Well, obviously the first thing is you let her change her mind and reach out to you. That's simple. Now, you have to really think about how much you can really count on this woman. If you get into a romantic relationship with her, one of the big things we want to know is, are you there for me?
Yeah, reliability is so huge in any type of relationship, even in a friendship.
It's not really a friendship if you can't really rely on somebody. Right?
And this is tough, because I can see that he does have feelings for her, and the friendship they built, was on a much different note than what a relationship would be like.
Yeah.
And there was almost like this expectation, which I say that word not saying that he thought wrong, but in saying that naturally when you have a close friend, you expect them to be there for you in tough
That's
times.
right.
He had this expectation that she would stick around, that she would, at least offer some compassion or, have those conversations with him.
At this point, it seems like we have two similar types of breakups surrounding her not liking him having stress in his life. Now, we don't know how he handled it. We don't know if he was depressed all the time. He was not engaging with her or not emotionally responsive with her. We don't really know. But when you're hearing somebody leaving you in these kind of situations, it makes you wonder how much you can count on them.
Right. And I get it if she's getting overwhelmed by, him dealing with some really tough stuff. Nobody is obligated to take on, the problems of somebody that you just started dating. So I get that. And, I do think her communication, her way of presenting that wasn't the best or wasn't the most helpful.
Yeah.
I wish that she could have been more empathetic in her response to him, even more empathetic in the breakup, even just a phone call to say, hey, I realize this is a tough time in your life and I'm personally not ready to be alongside it. I think the wording here was off, and I think that also probably is reflective of attachment style issues. She needs to work on some of those relationship skills and communication skills.
Yeah, she seems selfish to me.
Mm.
And, sometimes you have to be selfish in life, but you need to think about a third time with this same woman. Look at how she's treated you. You have to really reflect. How were you as a partner?
Mm-hmm.
How did you handle things when you were really stressed? How much can you count on her if you guys get back together? Because it seems like she's going to walk away again when things get a little bit difficult.
Right.
And you don't want to invest your heart into somebody who gives up that easily and then doesn't even have a conversation with you about it. Just sends you a text message.
And Margaret would always say, what's in it for you? And in this situation, that's what I think of. You want a partner, I assume, because you want that emotional support.
Mm-hmm.
You want a companion, someone who's going to be alongside of you. And, every breakup does affect your trust.
Yeah.
And so now, after 2 times of trying this, we are seeing a pattern here. You have to think about, is this person going to be willing to meet my needs? And not all of my needs. She doesn't have to carry the entire weight of all my grief. But, is she willing to hear me out? Is she willing to listen to me? Is she willing to be alongside of me for this?
Yeah, if she comes back again, you need to see some honesty and some transparency from her. And she is open about why she couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. I'd want to see some remorse that she hurt you and maybe handled it poorly without some real communication. You guys were friends for a long time first. And she's kind of treating you like somebody she just barely met and only went out a handful of times and didn't really know you.
Yeah.
And so you got to consider these things because you're putting your trust in somebody. And so far, she hasn't shown you that you can really trust her when things are difficult, only when things are easy. And life isn't always easy. Mm-mm. Life has a lot of difficulties. Difficult things will happen. You'll lose friends, family, illness, job issues, career problems, all kinds of things are going to come up in life, and you want somebody that's going to stand by your side. So the thing that you need to be considering is that more than will you hear from her again.
Right. And I think the challenge for you too is also thinking about how you manage these things. Do you have a good support system around you? Are you in therapy talking about these issues? And if not, would that be something that's helpful to you? So it's clear that, she wasn't ready to be a partner to you in the true sense of the word. And are there also other ways for you to be able to better manage your feelings too that can be helpful for you?
Okay, yeah, it's a lot to think about. This is a tough situation because, you got to think about what you'd be getting yourself back into a third time, okay? So hopefully this one has been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you need.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.